All right, my panel is back. Congressman McHenry, we've had the conversation at this table many times about whether what the president did was potentially good or bad for the long-term national security of the United States. But the question I have is, in your view, did he promise not to do what he then did?
Just like Woodrow Wilson said, we're going to stay out of Europe before World War I. Every president makes their campaign pledge, and events overtake them. And national security is the first one on the chopping block, because global events and opportunities, both events on the negative side and opportunities on the proactive side, present themselves, and these presidents will take them. So what President Trump pledged was...
Are you convinced that the status quo with Iran was so different on the day we bombed them than it was when he was running for president in 2024? I mean,
yes.
Why?
When you have a piece of intel that all the top leaders of Iran are at the one place at one time, and with one bomb you can destroy them, that is a huge presidential opportunity. So when he did that, the question is then the second order effects and whether or not they're properly prepped for that. We're dealing with now the downstream effects of those of a lack of plan for those second order effects. That's where we sit. But here's the question of the president's pledge is pulling back from the world, bringing troops home. He has largely done that in keeping with his pledges, coming back from Europe and European obligations. But this opportunity in the Middle East was something that presented itself, and there's a lot of press about this, and we'll know a whole lot more in the coming years.
Congressman?
I've seen no intelligence to suggest that Iran was an imminent threat, so it was a choice. But the problem is the president is a pathological liar. He lied about no new wars. He lied about lowering costs for Americans on day one. He lied about releasing the Epstein files. He lied about Mexico building the wall. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. And so if this were in isolation, maybe I can give him a little bit of grace on the Foreign Affairs Committee about he made a decision. I think the execution afterwards has been terrible. And then we have to ask, he's lying, but these aren't innocent lies. These have real world implications. We've lost American service members. We are paying at the pump, we're paying at the grocery store, and we're spending tens of billions of dollars to execute this decision by the president. So I can't take him at his word anymore. I think he just is a pathological liar, and this is just yet one more example in the long litany of lies the president has told.
David, where do you think the politics are cutting on this right now?
Well, clearly they're cutting against the president. I mean, the war is not a popular effort, and Americans really don't want to see a return to sort of active military operations. That's pretty clear and consistent across the polling. You know, the thing, and it's so clear that President Trump and his pollsters understand this as well when you listen to his rhetoric, that he understands where he does have public support is the notion of not having a nuclear Iran. Like that concept, but the how is where it all sort of unravels. And
it's why it's been a huge problem for every administration.
Exactly. And I would just note that I think history. Welker, really focused in on the right question in that interview, which is that every week we are hearing from the president, a deal is upon us, and a deal is coming this weekend perhaps, and a deal is coming within days, and a deal is here, and all they want to do is deal, and yet no deal, to your point, Kasie, as has been thus for all, previous administrations in this spot.
Yeah, I want to bring